If I do this right, if I do this right,
we gotta do this right.
It'll change the world.
The whole world.
It'll change my life.
That's right. That's right.
Aish.
If I do this right,
World peace.
if I do this right,
Come on.
it'll change the world. It'll change my life.
It'll change the whole life.
If I do this right,
If
I do this
Let's go.
right,
Let's
if I
go.
do this right,
it'll change the world.
that's what's
It'll
up.
change my life.
Let's go. Let's go.
Let's go.
If I do this right,
Yeah.
if I do this right,
Let's go. Let's go.
Well, you.
Happy Sunday. I almost said Saturday. Happy Sunday, everyone. How are you guys doing?
What's going on, y'all?
Welcome to another episode of If I Do This Right podcast. If you have not already, please make sure to tune into our other shows. Like, share, subscribe, do all the good things.
Hit up and also click the notification bell so you can get the upcoming shows and stay locked in. We got some big and better and bad stuff coming. We are working hard behind the scenes, but we are going to deliver as promised.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. So some current event stuff that we definitely want to make sure to talk about today. First of all, today is National Grandparents Day. Did you know that there was a day for National Grandparents Day?
Nah, because see, when you got grandparents like Big Mama and them, it's every time you come over. Every time you come over, they start cooking. That's Grandparents Day.
What was your favorite meal that your grandparent cooked or your grandmother cooked?
She used to make these like biscuits by hand.
Like homemade biscuits?
I want to call it homemade, but she just like, this is like passed down from her mom and all of that. And she'll just make it like there's no ingredients, nothing written down. She'll just make it.
Just throwing stuff together.
And man, I used to, and you get that biscuits. It's like it's kind of like powdery, whatever. And then you get some syrup and you dip it and you sleep. That's it. That's how we took naps. That's how we took naps.
My grandma used to make tea cakes.
What's that?
So they put you in the mind of sugar cookies, but they're not that fluffy.
Yeah.
But they were the best. You could just eat just tons of them. Like, I loved her tea cakes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Shout out to Big Mom.
Yeah.
What else you got?
So, my Sarah, Angela Bassett, won her very first Creator Arts Emmy after 9 nominations for The Queen, which is a national. It's on. Let me see. It was a National Geographic show called Queens. She almost passed up on the opportunity to do it, and this is her first Emmy after 9 nominations.
Yeah. Let me tell you something. Angela Bassett stands the test of time. Like,
she's gorgeous too.
Yeah.
What, 60 plus?
66. She's 66 years old.
She don't look it at all. Don't look like I saw someone did a I saw on one social media app I was on where they were doing like a age transition with her, and she looked like she was getting better every year. I was like, go ahead, Angela.
Shout out to Angela. She is a professional. She does her thing.
She does her thing.
And she is pretty.
She's gorgeous. Kendrick Lamar.
Oh yeah. So first off, he had a battle where Drake and J. Cole tried to rope him in this little friendship huddle thing. He was like, I ain't with y'all. I'm with me. And he stood on that. He stood on business and pretty much brought the biggest, rap, what would you call it? Celebrity.
Yeah.
Rap and, hip hop. I would say hip hop, kind of like
Drake
as the biggest hip hop.
You think Drake was the biggest hip hop? He was one of the biggest names in hip hop.
The way he was moving behind Lil Wayne and kind of like making he kind of like jumped off of Lil Wayne's back into his own little realm.
Yeah,
you want to hear Drake, like you want to hear what he had to say, like no matter. But man, the dismantle is crazy.
So Kendrick Lamar is going to be hosting the Super Bowl this season, and the Super Bowl is going to be held in New Orleans, baby.
Ooh, Nolans,
baby. At the
baby.
I may be there. We may make an appearance.
You want to go to the Super Bowl in Nolans?
Yeah.
Nolans.
That's gonna be a wild time.
Yo, I don't know what he's gonna do.
That's gonna be a good show.
Yeah,
that's gonna be a good show.
He got to play Not Like Us.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And it's probably gonna be toward the end because people are gonna lose their mind.
Yeah.
When he play that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely.
You got to play a part of it because it's the Super Bowl.
I don't know, or he could do like he did in what was that, California, where he did it and they was just like kept doing the song.
Man, who knows? Who knows?
Yeah.
He might come out with something big, but
it's cool. So I think, and you know what? Shout out to the NFL for following the stream.
I know.
They were like,
wait a minute, he already did the Super Bowl. He coming back to do it again.
He wasn't the headliner. He
performed. He was in the show.
He was in the show. Yeah. I'm excited to see what he's gonna do.
DNA. Anyway.
Another more serious topic. September is Sickle Cell Awareness Month. It is so important to, if you are not sure about your genetic DNA, definitely get tested. I happened to find out I had the trait after I had children. That's how I found out that I had the trait. But sickle cell is not as talked about as it probably should be. It can be life-threatening. I just lost a really good friend from complications of sickle cell. So it's important to know, and I think it's important to understand how the disease affects our society.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So now another thing that we want to make sure to take care of. Okay, so if you watched our last episode, we had Jennifer Allen on the show from Just Elope. Now, Jennifer Allen is doing this really cool thing where she has an opportunity for one lucky couple to get married at the state fair.
What? In front of everybody?
In front of everybody. It's going to be on TV. They're going to have an episode. I think she just got another TV show. It's going to be on that TV show as well.
Like one after another.
Yeah, like it's going to be a lot of stuff going on around this couple. So the thing about it is the last day to put in your application to be considered is tomorrow at noon. So you literally only have a couple of hours. But if you are getting married or you and your significant other say y'all decide y'all want to go ahead and take that jump, follow her on social media. Go look on her social media page, Just Elope or Just Elope Dallas. You will find her. Her name is Jennifer Allen. You can find her on Jennifer Allen on Facebook and look up more information on that. Okay.
Yo, I would test it out. If you on a first date, just do it.
That is not a first date. Don't do that.
You're like, hey,
please don't listen to him. Let's
go to the state fair, and then you just pop it on like, hey, will you marry? She'll be in front of all those people just shutting down.
That would be hard.
That'd be good.
No. Anyway, let's introduce our guest for today. I was about to say host. Our guest for today. So our guest, this is cool because this is like family. This is somebody I have known over 20 years.
Wow. I didn't even know. Yeah, that part I didn't know.
Yeah. We went to college together.
Wow.
Yeah.
Time flies, doesn't it? I'm excited too. I'm excited about our next guest too.
Yep. So DeAngelo Shanks is a Oklahoma City real estate agent or investor, excuse me. He is from Oklahoma City, he's from the area, and he has been a prominent figure in the Oklahoma City real estate market for nearly a decade. With extensive experience in buying, selling, flipping, and holding realtor properties, he has built a reputation for his keen eye for investment opportunities and his strategic approach to real estate transactions. Again, he's a graduate from Southeastern Oklahoma State University. Woo woo. His family, he's the youngest of three brothers.
Oh, okay.
I didn't know that. He's married to Riri Shanks, and they've been married over 20 years and been Together, they have 3 sons. DeAngelo Shanks Jr., who's 20 years old. He currently attends and plays football for Southeastern Oklahoma State University.
Okay, all right.
DeMario Shanks, who's 19 and recently graduated from high school. And DeAntonio Shanks, boy, y'all kept that D going, huh? Is a junior in high school. DeAngelo's dedication to his family and his career reflects his commitment to both personal and professional excellence. His journey in real estate continues to inspire many in his community. Help us welcome DeAngelo.
Hey, what's going on, brother?
What's going on? What's going on?
Oh man,
how y'all doing today?
You having sons just kind of just entering their own, life and trying to, just trying to find their what they're good at, playing football and just, how proud are you just knowing that they're leading their own way?
Man, I'm very proud. It's an honor to have sons. I'm not gonna lie. I wish I had a daughter. I always said that. I had to stop having kids because those boys just kept coming. So if I knew I could have a daughter, I'll probably have another one. But
I can see that.
Having sons, man, it's been a real blessing and an honor to have three young men, and they're all back to back. So my oldest, he's his birthday is May 6th, 2004, and then my middle son is May the 11th, 2005. And then my other one is April the 9th. Yeah. So he came a couple of years later, but he was born early. So all 3 of them would have been born in May.
Yeah. Your birthday's wrapped up. Yeah.
Wow.
My wife, her birthday is May 2nd. So
man,
I'm in June all by myself. So
yeah.
So they got birthdays. Everybody got birthdays and Mother's Days, and I don't get it. Well, Father's Day.
But you're in the middle. You're at the beginning of June, right?
June 19th.
Okay. Oh, mine's the 22nd.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So what's that? Cancer? What's that? Gemini?
Well, the 19th is Gemini still, right?
No, you got me on that one. I don't know.
Yeah, okay.
19th is Gemini because Keita is 16 or 15.
Well, that's Tupac's birthday right there, boy.
Yes.
That probably is.
I know he was a Gemini because you didn't know what Tupac was gonna do. He was like,
He didn't know what he gonna do.
Right. I thought we was going to the store, man. Why are we in this alley? but man, I'm excited to hear, you being a real estate investor, because not only does that title resonate, a lot of interest, but it seemed like everybody and their mama is trying to jump in. And I know you probably get hit with a lot of, people are curious and they just talking to you about stuff. You're like, hey, I don't do that. Like,
well, before we talk to the meat and potatoes of the show, let's have so DeAngelo, this is our icebreaker of the show.
Okay.
Which we probably wouldn't need one, but we're gonna have it anyway. So this week's question, or this show's question, is: who was your favorite childhood celebrity crush? Who was your childhood?
Oh man, if I got a couple of buddies that's watching this right now, man, we talked about this way back, and when I said who it was, everybody just fell out on the ground laughing. But that's just who it was. I was Rudy Huxtable.
Shout out, man.
That's crazy.
And everybody said, Rudy Huxtable, what? Everybody else like Carmen Electra and all these others. But yeah, I was that Keisha Knight, man. They Rudy Huxtable, man.
This is how I messed up. This is
what it is.
We never said nothing.
No, we never had that. Y'all never had that conversation.
She asked me before the question, and I said Rudy Huxtable.
Thank you.
Rudy, hands down. When Rudy
grew up,
so
what was it about Rudy?
When Rudy grew up, come on, man. You when Rudy grew up on the show, like I was like,
yeah.
She was just appealing. She was just appealing.
That's cool. Mine was Donald Faison. The dude that played. What did he play in? We were just talking about this the other day. He played in Scrubs, and he also.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But it was because he resembles a guy that I had a crush on in junior high.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's why. That's my whole reasoning.
Right. You talking the light skinned brother.
The light skinned dude. Yeah. Not he light skinned and bald head.
Right.
Yeah. I like bald heads.
But I had hair.
You don't now.
You got hair down here.
Not on your top of your head.
Anyway.
Okay.
I'm still trying to grow mine, man. I'm not trying to get no more haircuts. So this is it for me.
Bro, you done?
Yeah, this is it, man. See where it's gonna take me.
I hear you.
Haircuts about $100 now.
Hey man, yeah, it is. It used to be $5. I remember it was $5.
Yeah.
$5, you be, somebody's kitchen, or I don't know.
Yeah.
Getting your haircut.
Yeah.
But nah, man, that was good. That was spot on. That never happens.
Never happened. That and so for some reason I knew he was gonna say Rudy.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I don't know why, but I was like, why'd you say Rudy?
That's crazy. That
was it right there. That was it. Yeah.
That's what's up. Okay, so let's talk about some business. First of all, I guess the question that I want to know, how did you even get started in real estate investing?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't say always been in it, but really came from my mom and my dad. So my mom, she was always out driving around, looking at houses or buildings. And I remember one day we were driving around and she had found a church, and it was a building that had burned down, a church that had burned down. And actually it was called Prospect Baptist Church. Well, no one was using it, but the top half of the building was burnt, but the bottom had a lower level. There was nothing wrong with it. And she had called up, I guess, the pastor. I was probably maybe like 3 or 4 or 5 around there. Okay. And she had got that building and turned it into a children's ministry. And then the same thing, she had found another building on the south side of town. Same thing, driving by, found a building there and ended up getting that building for a while. Then we had another building, which was on, 23rd and Walker. Somehow my mom found a strip mall, had about 3 storefronts, and went in there and talked to the people and ended up getting 3 storefront on a strip mall, 3 stores, and ended up having a thrift store put in and a concession stand on one end and another church on the other end. So same thing across the street, there was a vacant house. My mom went over there. My mom, her name is Nadine, but she went over there and spoke to the owners of that vacant house and ended up working the deal. And I remember we went in and cleaned out, did a whole clean out of the house, painted the house, slept in the house, and had other people staying there.
Yeah.
So it just, from time to time, that kind of really sparked it as a kid. But when I got older, actually, when I got out of college, I said, I'm always getting into real estate. And I started having kids. But I used to look at real estate, look at homes and things like that. This is around 2003. And as soon as I started having kids, I said, you know what? If my kids get to the point where they can ride the bus, I'm not going to any more football games, all the after school programs, basketball, traveling, tournaments, baseball, soccer. I said, once they go to middle school and they can ride the bus by themselves, I'm going straight back to real estate. And as soon as they got to middle school, started going back, looking around, looking at properties and things like that. And the biggest thing is starting. So you look at so many properties, you talk to so many people, and you never pull the trigger. So that was me. I was just looking at properties. And As soon as I see one, get ready to put a contract on it, I just back right out. Because, not knowing, what's going to happen, or you see, the shows, the fix and flips and things like that.
Fear of failure.
Yeah, failure. That's what it is. Yeah, failure.
Yeah.
So one day I was around a few of my buddies, and we got to talking, and kind of like what Dee said earlier, having a general conversation, found out I had like my sister Go-Go, my brother Mac, who else was with my cousin, Kenneth Nolan, call him Nicky. We were all just talking, and all of a sudden we all had in common they wanted to do real estate too.
Wow.
So what we did was we all started talking about it. We're like, hey, well, let's just go on together on a property. And that was like the best thing we ever could have did, was get together as a group, because same thing what Aisha was saying, it's kind of scared of failure. But here it is. We got about 4 or 5 of us going into one property, and, of course, making the interest payments, going out and get the loan. It's like, well, how are we going for just one person? How are you going to pay the interest rate, not interest rate, but the interest loan, the loan on the interest payments. And man, with all of us got together, went search for a house, we found it. And just kind of a quick story about it. We went, looked at a property, I goes to the bank, talk to the bank, and I'm asking general questions. And in real estate, a lot of time people tell you can go into a bank and they're giving away loans and things like that, but they never tell you what bank to go to. They never tell you what loan to get. So I didn't know anything about rehab loans. A rehab loan is basically going in, getting a loan that they're going to give you money to fix up a property. They call it rehab, kind of a renovation. Well, I went in, started asking them what type of loan I need for a investment property. So they taught me what a rehab loan is and what I had to do. And mind this, I don't have no money. So I'm like, I'm listening to the videos when everybody say, hey, go to the bank. I'm thinking you go to the bank, they just give you the money for free. Yeah. So we go to the bank, and there was a gentleman that gave me a mortgage loan on my very first property. This me and my wife's personal home. It wasn't an investment home. So I went to what bank was that? First United, and I meet up with Doug and talk to him about it. And he said, I tell him, it's like, man, how do I get this loan? And he said, well, you got to put 20% down. And I was like, 20%. And the property we're looking at was about $85,000, $90,000. So I'm like, I don't got 20% of that. You know what I mean? Yeah. 20% of that. Right. And then he said, well, I tell you what, he said, you got any collateral? And I'm like, collateral? What do you mean? He's like collateral, you own anything? And I said, well, I got my truck. And I said, but I don't think that's, 20% of, wrapped in the truck. And he said, well, do you own your home? And I said, well, I got a mortgage on it. So he asked me what my home was, the location. He looks it up, and he asked me, how much you owe on your home? So I told him how much I owe on it.
Oh, I see what you have.
He said, well, look like you got quite a few, a lot of equity in your property. Yep. So he said, how about you just use your home for collateral so you don't have to come out of pocket? And I said, well, how do you do that? He said, well, we'll take your property, we'll put a lien on it. And since you have 20% worth of equity in your property, that'll be your down payment. So once we give you the money to purchase that property, we'll also give you the money to fix up the property. And once you sell it, you pay the loan off, and then we'll release the lien on your property.
Yep.
So I go back, I'm telling the fellas, like, hey man, they said I could do a collateral deal with the property. So I said, well, hey, y'all know if we get into this loan and get into this investment property, we gotta sell this property. Now they're gonna take my house. So that was the serious talk. They're like, yeah, we got
yeah.
So did y'all sign? Okay, because they say it's hard to do business with friends. So did y'all sign the contract, or y'all how did y'all?
Before you get into that, I need to say something.
Okay, go ahead.
Because a lot of people didn't catch it. You see, they didn't tell them no. They told them how.
How, yeah. That's a good point.
And if you didn't go in there and state where you are, be truthful, hey, this is where I'm at. He would have never known to put you, because they'll never, he didn't say, no, He's like, this is how.
Yeah.
I see what you're trying to do.
Those questions.
You gotta put that foot forward. So shout out to you for stepping up, putting that foot forward. But I found that interesting. I'm like, man, he didn't turn him away. He just told him how.
Yeah.
Ain't that? That's big. Like that's big. That's big. That's big. So I wanted to point that out. But
So like, I almost called you your nickname.
Listen, everybody, when you say DeAngelo, nobody calls me DeAngelo.
Nobody calls like.
Man, call being honest. Let's keep real. Nobody calls. If somebody says DeAngelo, they don't really know me like that. If they say DeAngelo.
Okay, so Pills. Did you really have that much faith in them, or you was like, y'all gonna have to sign this contract? Y'all gonna have to listen. Let's do a blood.
You had to get everybody's social security numbers and everything.
Because people start acting funny. Everybody friendly into business.
Well, and your place is on the line, so you had to make this work.
Right. And if it wasn't for them, it was no way I can make the payment because I got my own mortgage. And then once you get a loan, so whatever you take out, we end up taking out probably like almost $130,000. So you pay the interest each month. So the payments, even though and this was a few years back, so the interest payment, I think the highest payment we ever got was like $500. So let's split that between 4 or 5 people, $100. It was easy. You know what I mean? Yeah. But to answer your questions, man, I really can't say they my friends. It's really my family. Man, when I say I got a real close group family that's pretty down, I mean they ready to ride to the end. So they not just the ordinary around the way people. This is the folks that'll stick with you through thick and thin. They've been with me, since I could remember. So I really got to call them my brothers and my sisters, to help me out. But no, it was no problem at all. It was every time that month that payment was due when you get the utilities turned on, you got a utility bill. So you got a water bill, you got an electric bill coming, you got to put insurance on the house. That's an insurance bill. Then you got your mortgage. So every time that payment came, those bills came, we split everything down the middle, and everybody came with their money. Every single time. So, but no, it worked out perfect. Had to go out and get my first contractor for the first time. I had a Hispanic guy. His name was Melvin, and Melvin. Oh man, I tell you,
do it all.
I had this one guy. He totally went in. I mean, and I'm at one of my properties right now, but no joke. He went in. This is not it, but he went in and actually redid everything by himself, one-man gang. I mean, did the demo, tore everything out of there, did the floors, paint the wall, put in new doors, new countertops. I mean, you name it. He went in and did everything. And he did this probably within about 3 months of fixing it up. So
that's impressive.
For the first time, yeah. And it was a little bumps in the road here and that stuff that, I didn't know along the way because I was kind of going on the go, which is, okay, what do you need? And then go get it. So I had to learn along the way instead of before you start a project, you get your contract together and you go out and get all your supplies and have everything delivered. And then that way they attack the house. So we would kind of attack it together on that project. Okay. So we kind of went, if he needed any lumber or whatever material, floor material, paint, mud, we would go get it together. I mean, it still worked out perfect way. But that was the first time I ever done that, which is going back and forth to Home Depot, going back and forth to Lowe's. But the property we found, it's a place called Camelot on the northwest side of town. And Camelot has some real nice houses. And drove around, found the REO is a bank-owned property foreclosure, and went into a bidding war for that property. That was the thing back then, is that you always got into a bidding war with somebody else, and you didn't want to bid too high because I think the property started out like about 110.
Okay.
But learning me, and this is where my skills come in. You never pay full price for anything. You know what I mean? So it's the same thing that I learned in the streets everywhere else growing up. You know? So it was the same thing. So going into it, looking for a property, it's 110. They always say, give them an offer. All they can say is no. You know what I mean? So you have to think that you always got to keep that with you. The only thing a person can say is no, but they want to sell the property, and business it's just business. They're trying to meet somewhere in the middle, or if they just have to have this amount of money in this property, it's what they got to have, that price, that's what they got to have, but they'll let you know off the top. So we get into a bidding war, and we went from 110, ended up winning it all the way to like $85,000. So I was crazy. I was stepping in and offering. I think the first offer, I offered like 60,000. I think the realtor was like, "What? 60,000? $110,000 house? You know? Hey, you know what? 110? You know?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm thinking 60,000. You know, I'm just doing it out there." And we ended up going from 60,000. Like, no, they came down to like 100. I think I went up to like 65. They came down a little bit more. And I think the realtor kind of got tired of me lowballing and said, you know, DeAngelo, listen, if you want this property, how about you guys just meet in the middle? And we met in the middle, about 85,000. So the house was 85 that we purchased. And again, this was through the bank. Yeah. So there was no money down or anything. So it was time for the budget. Well, I didn't know anything about the budget. Well, the budget for a rehab is before you get the loan, you have to itemize what you're going to do to the property. So I had to go back, walk through the property and look at it and see what all it needs, you know, paint, flooring, if it needed a roof, a new fence. And you have to turn in that budget. And I think that budget, it got up to like 30,000 or something like that. And end up turning it into the bank. And then that's when they sent the first draw of you have to send in receipts, and then they'll give you the money to go pay for your supplies. So as you go. So that was pretty cool. But one thing I learned when you do rehabs, sometimes you can go to a bank and they'll deposit all that money in your account and you just looking at it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you're just looking at the money. You're like, man, I got other bills to pay. I might have to do some other things with this money. But
yeah,
it's you really got to be disciplined, because even though it's your money though, but when they put it in there for you to do the right thing with that rehab money, I can only imagine when people are doing rehabs that's like, you know, $500,000 or $200,000-$300,000. Yeah. Because I've done some flips where I didn't have to do any draws, where the actual loan officer put the whole rehab money, like 50,000, into the account like that. I didn't have to go do any draws. And you just got that money just sitting there. You just looking at it like, oh my God, you know, but you got to stay on task, on task. You know what I mean? Money management.
I wanna also add too, because I'm a mortgage loan officer. Like I have a license for it. I do other stuff. But what you just said was that moment when you saw the money into your account. And there's two things. There's the angel and the devil.
Yeah.
Bring your ear in, like, let me tell you something, man. We can go around the corner. You know what I'm saying? Make this thing happen.
Remember that boat?
Yep. Remember that boat?
Remember that boat you need?
Presents you missed out. And then on the other side, it's like, this is your test.
Yeah.
This is your test. They want to see what you're going to do because they want to give you more.
Mm-hmm.
To give you more.
To handle your business, they want to give you more. Yeah. And when you do your second, third, fourth, he didn't say he went to his banking account and did anything. He said they put all the money in there for him.
Yeah.
And then now you understand how business is done when you're dealing on financially. Mm-hmm. And I gotta say, I don't know I don't know where you draw your. If you want to explore on that, how do you draw your confidence from that? Because a lot of people will step back, they'll step up, step back, in and out. Yeah. But you just went forward. You just kept moving forward. And again, I know we're talking, But I don't know, like, did anything kind of stop you? Was there anything in between? Like, man, I don't know. Was there any, like, you was unfamiliar? Like, because it has to have been either you done this before or either, like I said, you saw your mama doing it. That whole process is crazy the first time.
Yeah.
It's
like,
crazy.
Where did you go from?
Well, I think it came from all the YouTube videos, you know what I mean? Reading and talking to YouTube University and talking to other investors. There was a young man, actually, I'm gonna give him a shout out, Dondi King. He's one, he was the guy that I would go to. Actually, before I started, I would go, he's one, I would say you gotta have a mentor. You don't have to, but I would recommend you get a mentor that somebody you can go to and ask questions, because in this business and real estate, you'll find a lot of people that won't tell you anything.
Yeah.
You know? And it's hard because, like you said, you see so many people that want to get started, but you got some people, they won't tell you what bank to go to. And they don't understand, if I give you my bank, you still got to go apply. You got to fill out the application. So whether you don't pay the bank back or anything, that has nothing to do with me. So you still got to apply. You still got to qualify. You got to give them your tax returns. So if you go through all that and you get pre-approved for that loan, that has nothing to do with me, even though I told you to go to that bank. You know what I mean? So you'll find a lot of people, they won't tell you that, hey, go talk to this person, because they think it'll be a bad reflection on them and you can't get any money. But I found out with the more banks that I started talking to, they need us more than we need them.
Yeah. Wow.
That's
a good point.
That's true.
Yeah. People don't think about
that. A lot of people don't know that the bank need us to. They need us to come out and take those loans, because that's how they make their money.
That's how they make money. Yep.
Exactly. And they just go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, like, when you went in there and asked for a loan, and they said 20% down, which they call that a conventional loan, because it's 20% of the down payment. But when they turned around and said, "Hey, we have rehab loans," coming back to what he just said, is like they need us.
Yeah,
they got a rehab loan.
Yeah,
who knew?
Yeah, I've never heard of it before.
Yeah,
I never heard of rehab.
There's quite a few, and a lot of people, they don't like messing with banks, but I always run the numbers. The banks they had the best interest rates. So you got hard money lenders, which is, say, it can be D. He's a person that has his cash set aside, and you can go to him and say, hey, I need a loan. Right. He'll give you a hard money loan, but he's going to charge you like 13, 14, 15% interest, when the bank is giving out 4% on a commercial. Yeah. So 4 versus 13, you would take the 4 any day, but to get the 4, you do have to, they look at all your dirty laundry. You know, they want to see your tax returns, you know, your bank statements, you know, so they see how many times you went to McDonald's and, you know, all, you know, where you like to spend your money. And I did that on the personal side. When I got that was the first loan I had, I did it through the personal. So I had to turn in bank statements, so they got to see everything that I spent my money on, you know what I mean? And you got to have a good interest. I mean, not interest, but a good credit score. So they look at that. They looked at my DTI, you know, my house payment, if you got any cars. And so I really got sharp on that, ended up getting my I got a corporation. But then I found out when you go to the banks, you want to have everything in line, because they're just going down a checklist. And then I said, oh, okay, you cannot give them any reason to deny you. So they say, hey, we require 700. Check, I got that. Your DTI got to be, you know, this amount low.
Under 50.
Yeah, under 50. And everybody got a house note, car note, and credit cards. Well, sometimes they'll deny you. And you're like, man, you know, so I made sure I didn't have no credit cards. Boom, that's a check. I only had a house note and a car note. That was it. And when I made sure I had that, you know, no student, shout out to my dad, you know, Southeastern, walking away with those student loans.
You were blessed.
My last year, I was tired of just walking around being broken. I took out one of them loans $6,000. I think it took me. I never get paid off. It took me a long time to pay it off. But when I wanted to go to the bank, I knew I had that on my credit, and my dad stepped in and paid that off for me.
Wow!
So
shout out to you.
Shout out to my pops. He took off that bill for me. So when they ran my credit, all it showed was a house and a mortgage, and I started getting approved for multiple loans and things like that. But that was the best thing. But a lot of people, that do have bad credit. That credit. When I say you wonder how people are getting things, that credit to take you very far, very far. The credit is the most important thing. Protect your credit and do not put nothing in your name.
Hills.
Preaching.
Hills.
Yes, sir.
We brothers, man. You have no idea everything you just said that I said over and over and over. You had no idea.
Oh, is that right?
I'm talking about word for word on some parts. But you are 1,000% right. And actually, we got a question that just came in.
Okay.
From Candy. First of all, shout out to Candy Lewis. But she has a question. She said, how can I begin to move forward to build a community, buying land, also property? What steps would you suggest?
That's a great question.
That's a good question. Like I said, first, you gotta make sure you got your ducks in a row. Just making sure if you're going to go to the bank, you're going to get the lowest interest rates. So make sure you got good credit. Make sure you don't have any outstanding loans, unpaid, doctor bills and things like that, because they look at those things. That's the number one, is going to a bank. And for every bank that you go to, I got my cousin, Nikki, we will go from bank to bank. They would tell us no. Don't take no for an answer. Go to the next bank. Go to the next bank. Go to a smaller banks. You don't want to go to your bigger banks. You go to your smaller banks. Because they're looking for, they look for people to fill out applications to give out loans. But if you want to build if you want to get any land, for any property, things like that, always start with the financial part, making sure you have all that in a row as far as your tax returns, because anytime you say, I make a certain amount of money, you can say that, but the bank, they want to check, and whatever's on the tax returns, that's what they go off of. So if you can't prove it, you can't use it. So that's the number one thing. I always say go with banks is great, but if you can't go with a bank and you got to go with a hard money lender, or if you got any collateral, how I started. Collateral, or again, find you a few friends. If you can get 4 or 5 people with the same mind frame that they want to go into building or getting investment properties or buying land, you can always do deals together. And you can always do deals by yourself. But if you're doing together, you can do flips, you can sell properties, and you can split the earnings. And by you splitting, you can take that money and put it in your pot and save up to buy what you need. Now, I don't want everybody to think that I just preach loans, because loans is you got to pay those mortgages every month. But that's one way to go. And then, or if you just wholesaling deals. But far as to answer Candy's question, just to get started, if you got a few friends you want to get involved with, and you guys want to go into businesses, good, and also going to the banks, you can't go wrong with that. But just make sure you got all your ducks in a row when you go to the bank, because they will love to give you the money. But of course, it's their investment, which is the money. So they want to make sure what you're buying, is worth it. So they want to see, hey, if it's going to be selling, you say I need 40,000. They want to make sure it's worth 40,000. What you're doing with the property, because it's they're investing their money into you, and they want their money back also. So it's got to be a great deal. Whatever you're doing, it has to be a great deal, because it's their investment. They want to protect that also.
Awesome.
I want to ask Pills, what for you is the most exhilarating part of real estate investing? Is it the finding the house? Is it selling the house when it's done? Is it working on the house, getting it ready? What's the most important? What's the most exhilarating thing for you?
Really, I mean, I can talk about real estate all day because it's something that I love to do. But I'll tell you one thing, the most important thing is the contractors. Everybody know working with contractors. I mean, a contractor, if they say, hey, I'm coming to paint the inside walls, interiors, and do your floors or whatnot, whatever you're paying them to do. Well, it's a job just like we got a job. They're just like us. Can you hear me?
It's cutting
out a little bit. Hold on, just a second.
Okay, all right. Sorry about that. But yeah, they're just like when I say how we wake up in the morning, we're like, you know what, I don't feel like going to work today. I'm sick, or had an emergency, my daughter or son, something happened. They are the same way. They get sick. They say, hey, I'll be there today, and they don't show. They come with another excuse. I got to be there tomorrow. Or when they do come, they've been there all day and they haven't finished yet. And it's like, man, why can't you just finish? You got the skill to do it. They just won't finish. But some, you find good contractors, some, kind of procrastinate, and some take on more jobs. So they come do a little bit of work over here and they go over there and do some other work on another property because they don't turn down any money either. So, but the contractors, that's the thing to work with. But for me, I enjoy the whole process. Going to find the property, going back and forth to Home Depot, Lowe's, or going to, Facebook Market, wherever I find supplies and things like that. Going in and seeing how the property is all outdated and looking at it and see what you can do to bring it, to update it. You know what I mean? So going out, get to pick all the supplies is pretty cool. And also seeing the beginning stage and knowing what the outcome is going to be. That's the best for me.
Yeah.
And you find a house with a good roof on that you don't have to replace.
Yeah.
You're in business.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So the show is called, you want to do
you got it. Go ahead.
The show is called If I Do This Right. So where you at right now? If you did this right, what would that look like?
Oh, if I did it right, man, if I did it right, y'all probably wouldn't see me no more.
Come on. we gotta talk in a second.
If I did it right, you probably wouldn't see me again because I'll be somewhere off, ducked off in another country. Making it a little bit. That's when you know if I'm doing it right. If you don't, like, where Pill's at? He gone. But it's very challenging. It's kind of like you can do it for fun. You can do it, for longevity, for wealth, something you can pass down to your kids. But sometimes it's slow. Sometimes it's fast. Sometimes you might get a large amount, lump sum on a deal. But it's kind of like how much time and work, effort you put into it to get out of it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Do you, when you, at the point that you're at right now, is there more freedom of your time, or is your time more calculated? Like, okay, I need to do everything in a 5-hour window. Like, how is your time? Because people think that when you do real estate flipping, like you just walk, like, what's that TV show where they just the twins? One finds it, one fix it.
Yeah.
Well, they think they got all this time to walk around and do all this stuff. Where if you're everyday, like you say, you got kids in school and stuff like that, it's like, what is your window?
And you work another.
I still work, and a lot of people think I'm a full-time investor in real estate. I haven't went full-time. It's just kind of something I've been doing on the side. That's been, that's it's been productive. You know what I mean? But I still work a full-time job and trying to find time. I find that window, those weekends, staying up late. But once you find good people and put together a good crew, good team, because in real estate, what I liked about it is that, and what I really wanted to get into it, because when you're looking for a business, you're thinking about what can I do? Well, I didn't want a business where I got to be there every day. You know what I mean? So let's say you're working, open up whatever you're opening up. Somebody got to show up to unlock the building. They got to be there whether it's food or whether it's a store, you behind the counter, you got to be there. You got to hire employees. Yeah, I wanted one of those where I didn't have to be there at all. And real estate was able to do that because you can just do everything from your phone. Everything's a phone call because you're basically subcontracting everything out. It's not me walking around with a hammer and, tools and things like that. It's people that you can hire. So a lot of times they say, man, how do you do all this? I mean, with phone, that's all I need. As long as I got a phone, I can text, I can call. You can put in cameras on the property so you can wipe. When the contractors get there, or if you got UPS coming and they're going to deliver the supplies, or you got Home Depot dropping them off, they got lock boxes on there, keypads, so they can just come. And it's just an empty house anyway, so it's not like anybody will take anything. So they're just dropping these things off, and you just coordinating with the plumbers, electricians, all those things. Just a quick text, real quick. You can get it done. Yeah. So you don't really have to be there. First starting out, you can be there to learn a business. But when you start working with good contractors, and if you got more than one person on your team that can go out and do a few things, it doesn't. You can get a lot done in a day.
Wow.
And then at the end of the day, when it's over with, I just drive by to make sure they did the work, because in investment properties, working with contractors, either they did it or they didn't do it. Yeah. Or they did it and it don't look right. You know what I mean? So that's one of the things. So I wanted something you really didn't have to be there every single day, every hour, meeting this person and that person. In real estate, you can be here and buy properties all the way in California and other countries. You can find people that'll go look at the property for you. It's sky's the limit in real estate. You can do a lot, and that's I don't think you can really beat it though.
Yeah, they that you have cooked on this Sunday, because that was some information that was a insight. Because I would watch YouTube and see like everybody saying don't do, the don't do's and all this stuff like that, and then it's like, man, everybody said once you get confident in one thing, somebody said don't do that in the next video. You're like, I don't know who to talk to.
Well, I would tell you this, and this is I'm saying the best advice, but this is some of the best advice you can have, is that don't give no money up front. Don't pay nobody up front. It's your money, it's your investment, and they're not going to protect it more better than you. So if you hire somebody to put a roof on there and they're a good contractor, they'd be like, well, we need a draft, to get started or what. You don't always have to pay them, because what that person won't do, somebody else will. If you don't feel comfortable, find you somebody who's going to finish the work first, then pay them. If you're comfortable, you could pay them, a third here, a third there, you know what I mean? But you definitely don't want to just pay somebody up front to do something and they haven't even started, not unless this is somebody that's been working for you for a long time, because that money, once it's gone, it's gone. A lot of people, they may mean well to do a job, but some people, they will take your money, and they got bills to pay, and they'll give you every excuse, and maybe they mean well to coming back finishing. And sometimes they don't, and give you the runarounds, but always protect your money, whether you give them just a little bit. But that's the best advice I tell everybody. If you want to get into flipping properties and paying, contractors and things like that, don't pay them up front. You know what I mean? You're going to work out a payment system with them, or you pay as you go, which is, hey, I need the outside painted. I need the house demoed out, the floor removed, and they just paint to be done. And we get all that done by the end of the week. So I'll pay you at the end of the week. So when you get there by the end of the week, either they did it or they didn't do it. So if it's done, you can pay them. If they didn't do it, don't pay them. So it's creative ways you can do it. You know what I mean? So and always ask questions. Always ask questions.
Yeah.
Awesome.
That's a lot. That's some good information. Some great information that you shared today. Is there anything else that we didn't ask or you didn't touch on that you think if someone wants to get into this that you would like make sure you do XYZ that you have not already mentioned?
Man, I would just say just do it. Real estate, and this is just coming from me. I'm not saying everything I'm saying is right, but if it's something, real estate is basically when you're born in the hospital, right? The most folks in the hospital, and it's a building. So that's real estate. And then when you leave out of that building, you get into a car, and then where you go home or you go to Walmart, you're going into another building or you're going to another property, which is your home. That's real estate. So no matter what you do, you're going to come out, you're going to go into some type of structure.
Right.
So around you is real estate. So I tell everybody, just open your eyes. It's real estate all around you, from the stores you go to, the hospitals, your schools, banks, Walmarts, your house, your friends, your mom, dad. It's everywhere, and everybody's building these structures. And so when you invest in those properties, real estate is something that you can feel. You can feel the house. My money is tied up in this property. So it's not like the stock market when you gave them $5,000 and they say, well, it crashed. You're like, well, wait a minute, where'd my $5,000 go? Well,
right.
It's gone. Like, no, wait a minute. I went to my bank and I got $5,000 and I gave it to you, and you telling me it's gone? No, somebody got $5,000.
Right.
Exactly.
They can't run that on me. You know, they say, no, it's just gone. No, somebody $5,000 richer.
Right. Exactly.
Investment, and when you go into a property, you can fix it up and sell it. You can rent it. You can make it an Airbnb. You can rent out each rooms if you want to. Sober houses is a lot of people getting into, where they just have all 3 bedrooms and they put a lock on each door and people rent out the rooms. I mean, it's so much you can do. You can make it a bank, which is pull money out of it. You know what I mean? And it's so much that you can do with these properties, and it's sky's the limit with them. I tell everybody, and go to meetup groups, go to a few conferences or whatnot. But those meet and greets where you meet a lot of investors, you meet a lot of contractors that's there, and there's not a lot of places you can go, or even family members you can talk to about real estate. But when you go on Facebook and you look at those Facebook groups and you find those meeting groups or real estate investment groups, meetups, and they're meeting like at Buffalo Wild Wings, wherever they're meeting at, you go there and it's all kind of people there who's trying to get started on their first deal, or you got wholesalers, people selling, properties that's real cheap. You walk into that world. So you might not know where to go, but now having the internet and those groups, and the YouTube and things like that. And I would say one thing, I'll tell everybody this: they not lying on YouTube. That when I say it's serious, when they talk about, hey, I went into a bank and no money down, I'll tell you this. I know we probably got to go, but I'll tell you this crazy.
No, you good.
I would always hear people say no money down, and you can go to the bank, they'll give you the money. Well, I would go ask the bank. I was like, how can I get this property when I have to put any money down, no collateral, no nothing? And they start telling me about, well, if the property appraised, we at the ARV, we'll give you 85% of the ARV, the appraised value. So if it's worth, 200,000, 100,000, we'll give you 85% of that 100,000 or 85,000 or whatnot. So I found a property, and I guess it was a real good property that had a lot of equity in it. And when I took that to the bank and filled out the application, they gave me the house. I ain't said they gave it to me for free, but I didn't have to sign. I didn't have to pay any money or put anything down, no collateral or anything. And it came from a bank. And I'm hearing this all on YouTube, that they went to the bank and they gave them the money for the house. So I go to some of the meet and greets, and I meet some other buddies that does investment property, same thing. So I told them about it. And they was like, I was like, man, you ever went and get to a bank and they gave you the loan, the buy the house and remodel the house for free? And they like, no, that has never happened. I thought everybody was doing, because I was seeing it on YouTube.
Right.
Everybody wasn't doing it. So I ended up, I think 3 properties I did like that, where I went into the bank and didn't even give them any money down, no collateral or anything. And they gave me the money to buy the house and fix up the house, like about 3 times. And I'm still doing it now because, different loan officers. And then I found out with the banks can do whatever they want to do.
Yeah.
They have, they have their rules and regulations and policy and procedures. But if they say, even if you have a good credit score, great tax return, they'll tell you and send you a letter to say, well, at this time, we feel that, we can't give you, you didn't qualify for this loan. You're like, wow, I got everything that you need. And then I found out sometimes when you go to a bank, they may approve you. And then when I go in, they may not approve me. You know what I mean? Or I say, hey, I went in there and I got no money down. They did this for me. And I send you to the same bank and they don't do it for you. You know what I mean? So they do what they want, but it's out there. A lot of banks do a lot of those things. But I had got about a couple of properties like that. And I'm asking folks nonstop. And they're like, no, I've never done that before. No, you can't go into a bank. Matter of fact, I tell you this, I'm not going to tell anybody, but we're from Durant, Oklahoma, and the biggest bank down there is First United.
Yeah.
And the owners and everybody come through down there. And I met a lady who worked for them, and I had just got a loan here in Oklahoma City the same way. And I go to I talked to the lady about it because I was trying to buy some property down in Durant. And I talked to her about it. She's a loan officer. And I was talking about no money down. And she was talking to me, looking at me like I was crazy. Like, no, we don't do that. So like I said, I hope I didn't bust on nobody. I was like, you know what I mean? But it's just, I say God is good. You know what I mean?
Yeah, certain loan officers don't have access. That's what she's saying. She's saying that I don't have access to that particular stuff. Because when you're a loan officer, either you're doing refinancing, VA loans, FHA loans, and conventional. So she may not even have access to what you're saying. So that's what she's saying. She's saying, hey, it may be done, but I can't. I don't do that, or I don't have access to it.
I say I need to speak to somebody that can do that.
Yeah, that's it. You just said it before. You was like, hey, if they don't do it, go to the next one. That's the strongest advice. Listen, Candy said it, but I agree. She said we need a part 2.
Yeah.
Part 2. So, I got some stories. I mean, now I would say this, and I don't want everybody to think it's all peaches and cream. Like, real estate is a great thing because it's an administrative side that a lot of people don't tell you about. I got a lot of friends in real estate, and they don't tell you. Well, they're not going to tell you. Some of them will, but a lot of people you see on TV, YouTube, or these guys that's big mega real estate gurus. They don't talk about the administrative side, the taxes and things like that, the money you make and the money you got to pay back. You know what I mean? Property taxes, you know what I mean? Or how much they may owe in back taxes on properties. A lot of people don't tell you about that. So you have to be about your business also, because if you can do one flip, fix a house up and sell it and make $50,000, well, guess what? You got to pay taxes. You don't get the whole $50,000. Yeah. And we see all these mega athletes getting these $100,000 contracts, and they say they make $50 million a year, but they only took on 20 million or 18 million out of 50. That's true. I mean, it is true. I mean, and it goes for the small people like us. If you make 5,000 or 10,000, Uncle Sam coming for that money. So you got to get into write-offs. A good CPA, just and having all your expenses and things like that, and you can do business out of your personal, but like I said, get your LLC, get your corporation, So that way you can keep track of the money that you're seeing that you're making and the business you're saying you're doing, because now you're building your business up. So when you go to the banks or you go to anybody, if you say, "Oh, my business is All Pro Homes," if I say, "Hey, I flip, so many houses," they'll be able to see it on paper. You say, "Hey, I made this amount of money." They see that amount of money that was made. So it's a good thing, but it is business. The administrative part of paying taxes and having paperwork and documentation and keeping up with those things. So I preach that big heaven, real hard, that people pay attention to that.
Yeah. No, but you drove it home. I mean, somebody who does it on a like a skill that you're doing it on versus somebody you don't even know on YouTube or something like that, but you just bringing it home with that. And yes, people, if you hear that, take care of your business.
Take care of your business. Take care of your business.
Stop cutting corners.
Yeah.
Take care of your business.
Yeah.
Don't cut corners.
Yeah.
Learn your craft.
Learn your craft.
And I tell you, in real estate, you grow up real fast. When they say, I'm not talking about, they say, "Hey, you a boss," but you really become a boss. You'll start telling people no. You tell people, "Hey, I need that," articulating and giving them instructions and delegating what you want done, because nobody's doing you a favor because you're paying them. You know what I mean? So whoever you come in contact, the bank, they're not doing you a favor because you're paying them. The contractor painting your house, if he painted it wrong, he's not doing you a favor. You're paying them. You're paying them for these services, and whatever price you agreed upon, it has to be done. And you have to sit back and say, "You know what? That's not how I want it done," or "That's not right," or we got to do something different. "Hey, I appreciate you guys working with y'all, but you guys have enough day. I'm about to find somebody else." So you got to fire some people too. Because you'll get ran over in this business a lot. So I tell a lot of people that want to get started, know what you want, and get in there with a good eye. Have you a couple of partners, but make sure the job is done right, whatever you do, and be upfront with people. Whether you like it, you didn't like it. Do reference checks. Someone says they do this type of business or this type of work, go look at their work. It's been a day. You got some pictures, let me go talk to the people house that they worked on, or even same thing with banks, what's a good bank, to work with, or how do you get, your documentation in a row? Always ask questions. And a lot of people tell you, and you got a lot of folks that won't tell you anything.
Yeah.
Man. Well, listen, you have gave a course of information that's very healthy and very inspiring too. And this is really cool because people don't come to you and ask you, what I'm saying, and without wanting something. And I love that you're able to just freely give out, like your part of doing that business. And just kind of shedding the light on, like, man, it's like your nervous times and your victory times with the business, and it's an ongoing process. It's not like it's just a one and done, because you got people to take care of, you got things that you have to complete and stuff like that too. But I love it. I love the information you gave. That was
appreciate it.
That was huge. Huge, man. That was huge.
It's anybody, where they want to get started in rental properties, Airbnbs. I do Airbnbs now, and I got another one working on, and that's going good, but you can do so much with a property, whether you want to sell it, keep it, or whatnot, but it's just what fits you. I got a buddy, I'm giving him a shout out, Johnny Bonds. Man, he don't like fixer-uppers. He don't like fix and flips. He likes to build, and he builds now. And you might not like that. So you kind of graduate into different areas where you're building property.
You find what works for you, what avenue you like. Yeah.
Some people like to sell them. Some people like to keep them. And I say this also, anybody can go find a property and fix it up and sell it. Anybody can do that. But if you're buying properties and you hold them for rental, that's
a whole different avenue.
I don't care if you got two of them, even if you got just one, that's a whole different, because everything is tied up in that property, and that property might not get paid off to, if it's a 15-year note on that, but once it's paid off, man, think about it. If you charge somebody, $1,000 a month for rent, and now you don't have no mortgage on there, and you need $1,000, and you add it up. If you had 10 of those properties, just making, I'm just throwing a low number out there, $1,000 a month. Which you can't find rent for $1,000. So imagine that. $15,000, $2,000. So that's a whole nother ball game when you're doing a marathon and you got those properties, and once they're paid off, and it's kind of like a retirement, your 401k, where it's the same way. If you get a few properties now, it gets you 3 or 4 or 5, and whether you flipping and still trying to pay them off, or if you just got mortgages on them, when they're paid off in 10-year notes or 15, you get all that, and you're going to retire anyway. So if you our age, 10 years from now, 15 years from now, and our 50s, 60s, you got those properties paid off. It's just like your 401k, your retirement coming in. Yeah. So it's a big ball game.
Yeah, man. Pills, thank you so much for being on the show.
Yes,
blessing us with that knowledge.
Yeah.
And man, you have definitely expanded a lot of thoughts and a lot of minds, especially when people hear it and stuff like that. So I just want to thank you for being on the show. Do you have anything?
I will see you at homecoming, brother.
Hey, I see my sister at homecoming. Yeah. Hey, we're gonna have a good time. Everybody's getting together. I think it's gonna be a big group. Everybody's planning, grills, and we're trying to get an RV. And I was just down at Southeastern the other night talking to the faculty. They said they're gonna save us a spot down there this time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because we're a big deal.
So I hope everybody show up just like old time. Well, we used to hang out down there in Southeast.
Yeah. Good time. Good time.
Good time.
Thank you so much for being on the show. Thank you for all the information. We might have to have you back for part 2 for real.
Straight up.
Hey, well, listen, anything for you guys, just let me know. I'm with it. We set a date. Hey, I'm here. I just appreciate It's an honor to even be considered to be on your show and everything. And I love what y'all doing. I think you guys do a great job. And man, blessings to both of y'all.
Thank you.
Hey, appreciate that. That's much love, man.
Thank you.
Keep doing what you're doing. And thank you so much. And be blessed in everything you do, and we support you wholeheartedly, man. If you need anything, just ask, man. It's yours.
And I'll be in Oklahoma City this week, so you don't have to fuss at me.
Okay, yeah. I'm like, hey, you coming down? Don't say hi to nobody or nothing. I'm like, at least say hi or something, Just
let's just sneak in and out. I see what you're doing. Say hi to your friends.
I will.
For like over a year or 2 years. I said, you should be coming down here and say hello to nothing.
I hadn't. I've only been coming down for like the last 3 months. Emmy 3.
Oh, okay. Oh, I thought it was a long time. Like, at least say hi,
No, because before then I had no reason to come to Oklahoma City.
now she's in Oklahoma City every weekend.
Just not every weekend, but often.
Right.
All right. Well, hey, we about to end the show, but thank you once again. Shout out to Pills, DeAngelo.
Yeah.
For bringing the knowledge. And hey, man, take care. We'll talk to you later.
Love you guys.
All right, take care. Love you.
Peace. Love you too. Peace.
Man, that was awesome. That was a lot of information. So I hope that, especially when people go back and watch the show, because I know we, everybody doesn't always get to tune in, but I hope that when you get to watch it, it inspires you, whether it's real estate or something else that you want to do. What I picked up on, something that Pill said, and I think you highlighted it before, is like, he just went. He's asked. He just asked questions. If it's something that you are interested in, ask questions. You never know what it could lead to. Never know.
Yeah, no, he did some things that it's like your calling, may not be your like big calling, like something that you like dreamt of, but it's something that you probably was accustomed to. Like when he went back and talked about his mom's and how she went to do it instilled something in him. Yeah. So when he was in a familiar place when he went the first time. So just stick to your guns, stick to what you know. You don't have to do anything extra. Yeah. If real estate is not your thing, then that's not your thing. Then do whatever your thing is. You may be into selling cars. You may be into, doing other things like. And we're talking about everyday people. Some people get lost by looking online and seeing all these people getting like content creators and all this money and stuff like that. But like you said, anything that makes a lot of money has an administrative side to it. Mm-hmm. So if you do real estate, that got a real administrative side. Just think of if you want to be a content creator and all the stuff that's in the background there. So you just gotta just know your stuff. If you're into it, know your stuff. Get your support. And then he spoke about, because I hear a lot of people say, "Oh, people don't come together. Black people don't stick together." And he found his friends, his tight unit, and they was able to create something. Everybody, did like-minded people. Like-minded people. So your community is right around you, and you looking elsewhere for it, but you don't know what's around you. Yeah, and maybe you do. Now it's time for you to put it together
and have those conversations, because you never know. Like he said, you never know. He didn't know that people were around him were interested in some of the same things that he was interested in, but he had the conversation, and
you will. Yeah, the people that we introduced on the show, you just go back, look at the show, look at other shows. You can connect. These people have experience, and they're everyday people just like you and I. Just connect with them. And let's see here.
If you want to be on the show or know someone that wants to be on the show, hit us up. There's all our information, if I do this right, at gmail.com. We're on Facebook. We're on Instagram. Of course, we're on YouTube. Please like, please share. Please subscribe to all our social media. That helps us get the word out even more. Yeah. We have some great stuff coming for you all. Next on the show, on October 13th is going to be my good friend RJ Hurd. He's going to talk about his comedy. He's going to talk to us about his plays that he's done, how he got started and all that. So we're going to talk to him. In November, we're going to do the panel discussion. So that's going to be a little bit different. It's going to be friendships after 30. So there's going to be a group of ladies that are going to be on a panel, and we are going to discuss that. That's a hot topic. And then in December, we have I'm so excited. So on our season finale, if you are a reader, especially if you read romance novels, we are having an author. And I'm not going to release it just yet. I'll tell you all who she is in November. But just know that show is going to be huge. And we're also going to do a giveaway. So I can't wait to get an opportunity to share with you all exactly who that is. But listen, we're doing big things here. We don't play when it comes to bringing you guys knowledge, information, positive vibes, positive information, things that you can utilize in your life. So please make sure to share this information. Share the podcast. It costs you nothing to share it. It costs you absolutely nothing to share and support. Candy, thank you so much for tuning in. As always, we love you. Thank you for the work you do behind the scenes. I will never stop thanking you for what you do behind the scenes, because it helps me so much.
Yeah, no, if I do this right, it's going places. I don't have to tell you. You can just look at the videos. But I'm gonna tell you this. All the talk about what we don't do and Black people, all this is the opportunity to support, because we're doing what everybody said that's not being done. So tune in, comment, subscribe, ask questions, connect. That's what this is for.
That's what this is for.
Yeah.
That's what this is for. Until next time, guys.
See ya. Peace.
Peace.